I owe everyone an apology. I'm sorry. I should have, instead of just after I was praying, got on here, jumped on here after I got through praying because that hit me so hard about about the big harvest. I didn't think back to go back over the message that was preached yesterday at Greater Emmanuel Bishop Shear's Church. As I went back over there and I was reading the message, going over it again, he came from out of Luke. He came from out of Luke chapter 5, verse 5. So let's just read it, okay? Now, he came out of Luke chapter 5, verse 5. And, you're always supposed to go one up and one down. So let's go one up. Let's go to verse 4. Now, when he had left speaking, he said unto Simon, launch out into the deep and let down your net for a drought. Okay. Now verse 5 is where it came from. And Simon answered, saying unto him, Master, we have toiled all night and have taken nothing. Nevertheless, at thy word I will let down the net. Now I'm going to go on here and read verse 6. And when they had this done, they enclosed a great multitude of fishes, and their net brake. Now let's go back to what I was saying about when I come up out of when he's saying the harvest was great, and then I got led to Isaiah 56, verse 10 on down. You have to go and watch the first video to catch this right here. Because I end up being, after I got through praying, when it said the harvest is great, but the church wasn't, let me read exactly how because I titled it how I come to got right here, part 1, it says, the big harvest is here, but the church is not ready for it. The blind leading the blind. Okay, that's part 1 that I did on here. Now, as I was reading, and I always do this ain't nothing new, and everybody know this about me. As I was reading it, and I end up going back, I said, okay, anytime that the Lord is speaking, giving a word and it's lining up, it should reflect. So yesterday, that was the word, and you pay attention to what come to me today, it lines up. The big harvest is here, but the church is not ready for it. The blind leading the blind. Now, he took and he gave a message about come from there with Peter and them not catching nothing. If you go on to read this, Jesus tell them how to do it and how to catch. But if you get right here to this verse right here, if you go up to this verse right here, it says right here, verse 10, and so was also James and John and the son of Zebedee, which were partners with Simon. And Jesus said to Simon, fear not, from henceforth thou shalt catch men. So now that lines up with what come to me today about the harvest, about the big harvest is here, but the church is not ready for it. The blind leading, that lines right up with it, okay? And this goes to show that we're not really listening to what it is that Jesus is saying to us, or the Holy Spirit is saying to us. And I say that because of this right here. Now pay attention. Yesterday, the lottery number in the evening, after church was over, the number that came out was 527. Let me go and show it to y'all so y'all don't had to take my word for it. I should have been had this done before I got to it. So let's go right here. Okay. Let's go right here. I know y'all say here we go with the lottery, but God is going to always speak to us in ways that we know. Everybody want to bless. Everybody want to bless, because God also talked to me when I was praying about a lot of people would know that a lot of this prosperity preaching that's going on in the church ain't from him if they just would read his word and come to have a relationship with him. And he's not saying that he didn't wish for us to prosper. He's letting it be known that a lot of the ways it's just been doing is not from him. And he spoke to me, speaking to me about that. Now, here it is. Now, I want you to look at this yesterday. This right here, Sunday, March the 22nd. Evening number, got right there, got Eve, 275. Now, I need you to pay attention to this. He come from out of Luke. He come from out of Luke chapter 5, verse 27. And Simon answered and said unto him, Master, we have toiled all night and have taken nothing. Nevertheless, at thy word, I will let down the net. Now, if you see, that's said in 27 words. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. 27 words. Now, if you go frontwards, it would be 527, and it would do it twice, because the chapter is 5, so that's 527, and the verse is 5, that's 527. But if you go backwards, you'll get 275, the way that the number come out. So what is the Lord saying to us? 275, see, 275. If you go backwards, you go 27.5, you would get it twice, 275 straight. So what is the Lord saying to us? To go back to listening to his word in the Bible, when he's telling us how he's telling us what to do. What he's telling us to do. He said, fear not, for henceforth thou shalt catch men. He would tell us this great harvest if we would listen to what it is that the enemy don't want me to finish is going in and out. So this right here is giving y'all confirmation. And people just went to hollering outside the window and everything else. Pay attention to this, y'all. Okay? We want blessings. He's letting us know he can take these worldly things and give it to us at any given time. Does that mean every time that a man or woman of God give you a message that that's going to come like that? No, it does not. The devil will take and get you. Devil will take and get you in that way too. What God is saying is, hey, this particular person that I have raised up at this time, not saying I'm the only one that I'm speaking to in this way to take and reach you. There will also come a time when I will give a word and you will know it pertains to a blessing or something for you to do. See, it keep on going in and out. I'm going to try to turn the internet off in here. And I'm going to try to turn the internet off. I'm going to try to see if I can turn the internet bars off. Okay, try to turn the Wi-Fi off. Okay, now let's see what it do now. Okay. See if it keep on going in and out. You see that the enemy don't want you to have this word. Okay. If you take and you have a relationship with God, God will talk to you in a way that you understand. He talks to me through numbers. I learned a long time ago, people used to think I was crazy when I first come home from the penitentiary, when I would tell them numbers will talk to you just like words would. They thought I was crazy. This is back in 2001. Okay, when I was taking in, coming home and I was telling them that. And I would talk to people and tell people how the numbers would take and speak to you, and how when numbers starts revealing cycles and stuff like that, you have to pay attention to them, or patterns, you have to pay attention to them. And, you know, they would speak to me like words would speak to me sometimes. Then when I got to reading the Bible and started studying, I started realizing that, you know, it was something even more greater to this. Then when I found out that the Hebrews, that's, you know, how the word is basically interpreted in the Hebrew, they do it with letters and numbers. So I said, okay, you know, this started to make a whole lot of sense now. But anyway, I didn't want to make this long. I just want to show you how when God is speaking, he spoke a word yesterday, brought it back again to me today. And then when I went back and started doing what I usually do, and I ain't even finished with that. Ain't no telling what else is there, because I got led to something else too while I was sitting there. I got led to something else too while I was sitting there. And I was also reminded about when God was speaking to me back in 2024. And I was upstairs and I just went to prophesy, and I had been praising the Lord. And I just went to prophesy like Bishop Shears was there, and I was talking to him. You know what I mean? And, you know, like I said, God was revealing to me that he wanted him to take and get away from everything, and he wanted him for the next 30 days just to spend time with him so he can hear what it is that he had to say to him. And he wasn't talking to me. He was talking to me like I was speaking it out like Bishop Shears was there. And this was what God was wanting Bishop Shears to do, because of what he's the eighth. God revealed something to me about the eighth and how the eighth ties into that with Azusa Street and Bishop Mason and all that, but he will never let me do it. And it's a thing, that a video that I showed when I was taking and showing y'all that about that what I was doing, Bishop Egervan, and where I was showing y'all on a piece of paper where I had 888 by Bishop Shears' name. I can't find it right now, but anyway, that ties in. He's the eighth apostle of that church. Like I said, I can go on and on about that. Remember the video the thing that I got stuck on earlier when I was taking and doing that with Jonah? Presence got the number 8 in it. Now, I didn't go to the third time that presence was mentioned in chapter 1, but it's mentioned in there 3 times. We know any time when something is to be revealed 3 times, it's real significant. Okay? But if we take and we just pay attention to it, you know, God is letting them know that his word and his presence is very important, even more important than ever before right now, to get this great harvest. And that the church right now is ain't woke. We having all these conferences and all these things, and all these people talking about taking show this and God gonna do this. God let me know again. He been letting me know for years. But today he specifically made it known, if people would just read his word, they would know that a lot of this, the way that this is being done, it ain't him. Especially when it comes down to this money thing. Do it say in there that we should sow and we should give? God, from the very beginning, God let it known that one of his characters is that he a giver. He created the heavens and earth, and he did what? He gave the heavens to the angels and the earth to man, but he made a way for man to be able to take and be a part of the heavens too. He gave. So it's letting it be known from the very beginning that God is a giver. So we can't get caught up in that part of it when we know that something is wrong with it. One of the ways it got revealed to me, we really pay attention how we can really tell that it's Satan. One of the ways that Satan do is Satan's take and put something out there to you and say, I'll give you this if you do that. And they doing the same thing in church. What happened in Luke chapter 4? after Jesus had fasted for 40 days, Satan came and got the revealing, matter of fact, I don't want to mess it up because I got bad. Let's go to Luke chapter 4. This is chapter before this. Okay, Luke chapter 4. Help me out here, Lord. Luke chapter 4, right after this, and it got right here. And Jesus, being full of the Holy Ghost, returned from Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, being 40 days tempted of the devil. And in those days he did eat nothing. And when they were ended, he afterward hungered. Okay. And the devil said unto him, If thou be the Son of God, command this stone that it be made bread. And Jesus answered him, saying, It is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of God. And the devil taking up, pay attention, and the devil taking him up into the high mountain, showing unto him all the kingdoms of the world, and in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, All this power will I give to thee. And that's what the devil's doing right now in the church. He offering people different things. And that's what we need to pay attention to. And the glory of them, for that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will give it. If thou therefore will worship me, who are we worshiping? All shall be thine. Now, if we paying attention to that, and what that's saying right there, and what I said earlier about who are we worshiping? Is we worshiping God, or are we worshiping Satan, or are we worshiping man? Remember I was telling you about the three kingdoms: man kingdom, Satan kingdom, and God's kingdom. I said that wrong because God's kingdom should always be in the middle of the straight and narrow path that leads to him. So we're going to say man's kingdom, God's kingdom, Yahweh's kingdom, or Satan's kingdom. You know what I mean? Which one are we worshiping? Because when we pay attention, Satan is offering Jesus all these things. And Jesus is letting them know. We're going to go to verse 8. Because I stopped at 7. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship. Get thee behind me, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. So we need to pay attention to this. When we're in the church, who are we worshiping? The song that we listening to. We done got so far away from them old real worship songs, the songs of love to God. Then just pay attention to a lot of these songs. There ain't nothing in them. Ain't nothing in them. And then it got to the point where they're even afraid to sing some of them old songs. It's a song that I love listening to, and I ain't listened to it in a few days. I'm going to play it soon as I get off of Over Every Mountain. I love that song. I love that song. Let me see if I can find it. Just play a little bit of it. And I don't own the rights to this. However they take and they do this, but this is my song. I hope I can find it right quick. Lord, please let me find it. Stuff like this, you don't really hear them playing that much. Come on, what is it? Now some want to go. Say they hate that word, so look at that. Say no, look at this, man. Look at this, man. You got to be. It don't want me to find it, y'all. Look at this. Look at this. Ah. Oh, Jesus. Okay, let me see. Come on, Jesus. Come on, pop up in here. No, I just songs like this, they ain't singing no more. You don't hear stuff like this in the church no more. Or even some of the old William McDonald songs too. I just ran across that. Don't want me to find it. But this, look at it. Thing keep on popping. It don't want me to do it, y'all. And that just goes to show you, huh? Look at it. Just keep on. Y'all see how I keep the screen, keep on flipping up? Watch this. Look at this. And now any other time, I could play this with no problem, y'all. No problem. Look at it. Keep it talking. Update. Now I got to update the app all of a sudden. Wow, this is crazy, man. I mean, it won't let me do it, but it just goes to show, man, it just goes to show, what it is that we battling with, even these computers, how they are resistant to anything that leads to the true worship of God. I mean, it's crazy, y'all. I mean, this is just straight up crazy, and we need to pay attention to that. Pay attention to how the sound in the church. Y'all, any of y'all that was born I ain't talking about y'all in the 50s, because y'all know. I ain't talking about y'all, but any of y'all that was born in the 60s and the 70s and even the early 80s, just pay attention to the songs that were sung in church and pay attention to the songs that's sung right now. And really how all this started today was when that started coming to me, and I end up reflecting on Bishop William Murphy. And I ain't trying to, get into the battle, but it's a song that he used to sing, praise is what I do. I mean, Jesus, man. Jesus. I mean, wow. How do you go from that to what's going on now? How? It's crazy, man. Crazy. How? Now, that's a real worship song right there. But how do you go from that to that? Anyway, just pay attention to, what I mean, how you've been sowing seed. A lot of y'all been sowing seed, and they keep on putting in the same way. Just some people hit a lick when it, or devil say, okay, well, I could take and use them, so I'm getting ready to let it seem like what they did is, to get them in. Then they'll leave more, and then it just keeps on going. You're supposed to sow. You're supposed to give. The church needs money to survive. But read the scriptures and see how God is telling you to do it. Get a relationship with him so you'll know. You're supposed to love your man or woman of God. But when you know there's something ain't right, seek the Lord. That's why God went to Ezekiel's house and took Ezekiel through the temple and let him know what was going on. He'll let you know what's going on. But you got to have that relationship with him. Get that relationship with him. Get his word in you so you'll know. And when you see that stuff is deviating from his word and stuff is becoming more about the man and the woman of God in the house than God himself, then you know something is wrong. When it get where you trying to get closer to God, but you constantly run into a brick wall, and it's been going on for over 12 months, and you can't get no help, might be time to back up. I mean, God lets you go through some things for season, as they say. And I don't really like to get caught up in that season thing, but he will, But it comes a time when you in the right place. You ain't gonna stay stuck for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. You're not. When God's spirit and God's power is flowing through a place, deliverance is there. again, let's go back to this. Let me find it, Lord. Let me find it. Where we at? Where we at? What do I need to go to? Where it says that salvation is of the Lord. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to Jonah. Let's go to Jonah. So, because I can't remember exactly where it is in this. I just got to reading. But go right here. All worship belongs to the Lord. Let's get this straight. Let's read this before I go to Jonah. Verse 8. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shall thou serve. Okay? Now let's go to Jonah right quick. Let's go to Jonah. Let's go to Jonah right quick. Now, right here, Jonah, we in verse 9. But I will sacrifice unto thee with thy voice of thanksgiving. I will pay that I have vowed. Salvation is of the Lord. But I will sacrifice unto thee with the voice, my voice of praise, worship, and thanksgiving. I will pay that I have vowed. Salvation is of the Lord. It belongs to God. Salvation belongs to God and only to him. Worship belongs to God and only to him. Your heart belongs to God first. And when you let your heart belong to God first, God will take and touch, give back to you what you gave to him more fuller so you can take and share it with others. When you try to take and do it without first giving it to God and you try to give it to others, you'll find yourself depleted like I am right now. Because I didn't try to give more to others than I didn't try to give to him. And I got to be honest about it. When I was giving it to him, he kept me full. When I would get drained, I would go down there and get on my knees, pray for an hour or so, and come back up replenished. Find that hard to do that now. Anyway, I'm going to get off here. Didn't want to make this long. But the number came backwards straight. 7275. The number showed itself 3 times in there. 2 times front was 527. Chapter 5, verse 5. Then you got 27 numbers. Didn't even show the parts in the parcel, took and broke down into the other stuff. But you couldn't get the number straight until you went backwards. And it come to me about God wanted, it said, let me get this right. Come on, Jesus. I wasn't prepared for you, for that number that's showing there. I ain't gonna lie. It's blinded, but the harvest is great, but the church is not ready. Okay, earlier. Okay, here we go, earlier. About 10 minutes, about 10 minutes go, I could hear, about 10 minutes ago, I can hear a voice crying out for the Baptist church. Return to its first love. As this was happening, I could feel the wind blowing in the spirit realm, and I could feel the pain of love in the distance. Then I said, it must just be my emotions. I asked Father Yahweh, is this him? I got no answer. Okay, again, earlier today, when I was asking Lord for his presence, reading Jonah and whatnot, this is what ended up coming. Go back and watch the first video so you can understand this second video. Okay? Go back and watch the first so you can understand the second. A lot of stuff we got to stop. I'm telling y'all. And I'm not saying it like, you better listen. So let me rephrase that. I'm asking y'all to listen to what I'm saying. I believe with all my heart that this is God speaking. I believe with all my heart it's God speaking. And I believe if we don't listen, he's getting ready to use Islam to be a rod to this country. Even with all the power that we got and all the technology and all that we got, history has proven it has always been an inside job that brought down a great nation. Just pay attention. Pay attention. Always started from the inside. They started bickering and fighting in Rome before Rome ended up caving in. Whole lot was going on in Egypt before Egypt started caving in. Pay attention to history, y'all. Just pay attention. I'm going to go on and get up off here, but the number came backwards. 275 is letting us know, to return. Because in here, earlier today, again, I'm going to read this one more time. 3/23/2026 at 5:04 p.m. About 10 minutes ago, I could hear a voice crying out for the Baptist church, for the Baptist church, to return to its first love. As this was happening, I could feel the wind blowing in the spirit realm, and I could feel the pain of love in the distance. It must just be my emotions. I asked Father Yahweh, is this him? I got no answer. I got an answer. It was him. Love y'all. Have a blessed day.